From the beautiful Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, this is the Dental Lighthouse Podcast. We take questions from anyone in the dental profession and discuss what it takes to win not only in dentistry, but in life. Business, leadership, relationships, parenting, health and wellness, money management, nothing is off limits on the Dental Lighthouse Podcast. I'm Jason Tenori, your host, and have over 20 years of experience to pull from. Learn from my mistakes and let me help you collapse time so you can become the best version of yourself. Yo, Dr. Jason here, Dental Lighthouse Podcast. It's Friday morning, and I'm in Lake Placid, New York. For those of you guys that are not familiar with New York, it's a big state. Lake Placid's like 7 hours north of New York City, like borderline Canada, Vermont. We're up here for a baseball tournament. Had a game this morning at 8 o'clock. Super good game, very competitive. We lost 4-3, but boys played well. I want to spend some time. This is going to be one of those rambling, musing episodes. And I wanted to spend some time just kind of going over some things that have been going on in my head from a time management perspective. And these ramblings are not, life-changing based on the newest research. It's stuff that we've all known. In fact, I'm pretty sure that when I was in Italy last year, I did a podcast similar to this. And what I really want to communicate to you guys is realize the amount of time that we waste on any given day and fight like hell to rectify that situation. So let me expand upon that. I had last week off, July 4th week off, and I never take a fully disconnected week off. You can judge me for that. That's fine. But my wife knows, my kids know that in order for me to stay fully present with them on vacation, I have to have the peace of mind that fires have been put out at work, and I'm not the bottleneck. I'm not slowing anyone up in terms of getting shit done from a work perspective. Excuse me. So they know that I need to dedicate 90 minutes to 2 hours every single morning where I check in and I get what I need to get done. And then I don't check in. And again, when I was in Italy last year and even Croatia a couple of years before that, that's when it really started to hit me that I waste so much time throughout the day checking email, checking Slack, checking text messages. And for those of you guys that travel to Europe on a regular basis, you realize that with the time zone change, you can respond to someone's text message, you can respond to someone's email, but they're sleeping if the message is sent to someone stateside. And it makes absolutely no sense to impatiently wait for the text message to be returned or for the email to be returned or for the Slack message to be returned. So when I was in Italy and when I was in Croatia, I started to really understand and develop the habit of all of these messages that I get blown up with, text messages, emails, Slack messages, Facebook DMs, blah, blah, blah. Like, all I need to do is spend X amount of minutes per day, respond to those messages, and then close my computer. And when I'm in Europe, and a couple of times I've been there, and I don't want to sound like a worldly traveler because I'm certainly not. I've only been to Europe twice. But in those two situations, I would wake up in the morning, 7 a.m., let's say, because I'm on vacation. I've had a few libations the night before. So I sleep in a little bit. And I would open up my computer and I would see all of these messages from the night before when the people in the States, people in my practice, my coaching clients were were up and around. They're pinging me, they're asking me questions, and that's what I want them to do. I would respond to all of those messages, and then I'd be done. And it was so freeing to respond to all of those messages, to share value. Some of them were voice memos, some of them were Loom videos, some of them were simple yes, no, some of them were let's meet face to face when I get back into the States. And it literally took an hour and I was done with it. So my point that I'm trying to make here, and this really got hammered home last week when I was on vacation in New York State. We went to one of the Finger Lakes and spent time out there. The same exact thing. Wake up at 7 a.m., respond to all of the messages from the day before, emails, text messages, blah, blah, blah. And then what I would normally do, what the younger version of myself would do, would be go do something, go play cornhole with the kids, but then run back to my computer or phone to see if there have been any responses to my messages. But what the trips to Italy and Croatia taught me, and what I was truly able to do last week on my vacation on the Keuka Lake, is not do that, because I know that I have proof of concept that I did it 2 other separate weeks when I was in Europe, and it was wildly successful. So last week was one of the first times that I've ever consistently put together 5-6 days in a row where I woke up at 6:37. I did my morning stuff, my daily Stoic readings, daily dad readings. I'm reading The Power of Change by Craig Rochelle, my Bible studies, stuff like that. And then put a 60-minute limit on my web browser. And we'll talk a little bit about how to do that in case you haven't. Responded to all text messages, Slack messages, email messages, and then closed the computer and put away the phone for the rest of the day, and was fully present, enjoying my daughter who's up from Virginia, enjoying spending time with her boyfriend, my wife, my kids out on the boat. And it was just so freeing for me to know that I can be productive in that limited window, know that the next day when I opened up my computer, the world wasn't falling apart. I didn't need to respond to messages every 15 minutes. There's nothing in my life that is so vital where, oh my gosh, if I don't get back to an email within an hour, my building's going to end up on fire. Like, we may have an ego that we want to believe that suggests that, but that's not the case. I mean, let's be real with each other, right? So what I'm trying to communicate to you guys is, even during the regular work week. So most of you guys work a Monday through Thursday, and then you have like your CEO time or what have you on Friday. It doesn't have to be just on days where you're not clinical. I can almost guarantee that what you're doing, and let me just paint a scenario. You wake up in the morning, hopefully you do something productive before grabbing your phone and checking email. But even eventually, you're most likely going to check your phone and grab email, right? And you respond to emails and you respond to text messages, and you maybe have breakfast and you get to work. I can almost guarantee, based on my own lived experience, and I'm blessed to have lots of associates, so I see them do the same thing. They see a hygiene check, they come back to their office, they check email, they check their phone. They go do a couple crown preps, they come back to the office. When I say office, their private office. They check email, they check Slack, they check their phone. Like, it's an all day long thing. And what I'm trying to communicate to you guys is the amount of wasted time, or let's call it opportunity cost, that you're paying when you feel the need or the draw to, every time you finish something clinically, you run back to your office to check your email or to check your phone or to check Slack. So if you could develop the habit of once a day you respond to all of your messages, even twice a day, even if you're going to do it, say, after your morning ritual in the morning, and then before you go home, after your last patient, even if you did it just twice, then the amount of attention that you're creating for yourself by not constantly being pulled to email, Slack, text messages is unbelievable. And I'm saying this from experience, and I want you to experience the same thing. These 3 to 4 minutes in between patients, in between hygiene exams, some of you may be saying, Jason, what else am I going to do in 3 to 4 minutes? Well, let's think about that. What else could you possibly do in 3 to 4 minutes? Why don't you go have a minute meeting with one of your assistants? Why don't you help them turn over the room? Why don't you spend a little bit more time in the operatory and show your younger assistant the best way that you know how to make a temporary crown or to pack cord? Or why don't you spend an extra few minutes in hygiene developing rapport with the patient? Or why don't you knock on your office manager's door and say, hey, got 5 minutes before my next patient. Anything on your mind? Anything I can help you with? Any obstacles I can remove for you? Like, these are all things that you know you should be doing, right? We talk about it in the servant leadership course all the time, but you don't. And, we talk about our definition of character. Character is knowing the right thing to do. Go serve someone, right? So knowing what you need to do and actually doing it, right? I don't care about intention. I don't care about, I should go help this person. I should go help that person. I should go have a conversation there. But instead, I'm going to run to my phone and return text messages. Like, intentionality, or having intention is one thing. Actually acting on that intentionality is quite the other. And I don't know what you need to do to prove to yourself that your ability to respond to messages in a lightning quick way doesn't serve you. It doesn't matter. And I'm trying to say this as kindly as possible. You're not that important. Like, the emails that you have to respond to, the Slack messages, all these things, none of it is life altering. None of it is like, oh my gosh, if I don't get back to this prospective associate in 5 minutes via email, I'm going to lose them. Or this banker wants to know which rate I'm going to choose for this line of credit. Like, if that has to wait till my designated time the next morning, all hell's going to break loose. That's bullshit. Like, stop lying to yourself. You feel good about yourself because you're being, quote unquote, busy doing nothing, doing things that don't matter, when what you really should be doing is staying busy with things that really matter, like serving your team, like being present for minute meetings and quick conversations, like figuring out ways, even though you're uncomfortable with it, of giving sincere and specific praise to people, as opposed to running back to your office like a little kid and replying to more emails or checking your stocks or seeing the garbage that's going on Facebook. Like, all of this stuff adds up throughout the day. And if you had a little birdie on your shoulder who had a stopwatch and was clocking in all of the time that you wasted scrolling in between patients, thinking that you're doing busy work in between patients, it adds up. And that time is so much better spent connecting with people on your team, doubling down on the relationship, serving them. So who are you trying to become, right? If you're trying to become a servant leader, if you're trying to become the most efficient with your time, then you can't task switch. We've talked about task switching before. We've talked about how multitasking is a fallacy. You can't task switch, right? It leaves lots of intention residue. You're not productive, blah, blah, blah. I got tons of podcasts on that stuff. So I'm asking you, next week, try your best to batch things like returning emails, returning Slack messages, returning text messages. Maybe it's once a day, maybe it's twice a day. Figure out a way to batch it. And if you have to set up protective measures to batch it, do things like this. Open up a web blocker. I use Stay Focused, and it's old. I've been using Stay Focused for almost 10 years now. I'm sure there's a better one out there. You can set parameters on when you'll have access to certain websites, right? So if I truly want to discipline myself and I want to stay off email, Facebook, Instagram, Sports Center, stock market, I'll block those websites from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. and I'll do it after that. Or maybe you block it from 6 a.m. to 12 and you use your lunch hour as an opportunity to do that. Although I would also suggest that there's better things that you can do over your lunch. Conversation for another day. So figure out a way to set up blockers. What if, God forbid, you drove into work and you left your phone in your car and then walked into work? Oh my gosh. Like, could you imagine not having your phone right next to your office computer? What would you do? Well, I already talked about what you would do. I need you to go do it. You can walk back to your car over lunch. You can see who's blowing you up. You can respond. You can get back to some phone calls and then maybe leave your phone back in the car. The amount of time that you would create by not constantly checking your phone, by not responding in the moment ASAP, like your life is dependent on it, that amount of time will allow you to do other things that really, really, really move the needle. One final thing about this is when you're setting up parameters for home, you've heard me say this before, the absolute best way for me to safeguard the time I have with my wife, with my kids, is to leave my telephone or I can't believe I used the word telephone. I am old. Leave my phone and my computer in the car. And I make a promise to myself that I am not going to retrieve those two things until a certain point. Now, when my kids were younger, it used to be until the kids go to bed, which was typically around 8 o'clock. My kids are older now, so I still they don't go to bed at 8 o'clock, although sometimes I wish they did. I don't go out and grab that stuff until I need it, or until 8, 9 o'clock, right? But right before I'm going to go to bed, just do a final check-in or something like that. And there have been times where I have been so engaged with my family and I forgot about everything outside of my home that I don't go back and I don't grab those things out of the truck until the following morning. And to be honest with you, the only reason I grab my phone in the morning is because my Bible app's on it. Everything else I read is a regular book. So I'm not trying to judge you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad about yourself. I just would love for you to consider the opportunity costs that you're paying when you run to your phone or you run to your computer every time you have a free moment throughout the day, when what you could be doing is batching those things, 100% finishing them in 15 or 20 minutes for the day, and then with this newfound time, being fully present in the moment with the people that need you most. That's it, guys. Learn from my mistakes, learn from my 2 trips in Italy, learn from the wonderful week I spent on the lake last week where I was able to run my business pretty darn well, dedicating 90 to 120 minutes per day, checking in, answering emails, answering Slack messages, not being the bottleneck. When my team, who I've empowered to do a lot, gets up against something and they need my input, I'm there to give them the input and then I move on. Right. So, I want that for you. It starts with you developing character. Remember, character is knowing the right thing to do and actually doing it. So it starts with your character development. if you're struggling with character development, try to pick one small thing to start for one small period of time. So Monday morning, not even Monday morning, I'm going to try to do what Jason's talking about here. I'm going to try to be a better version of myself. I'm going to try to batch the stuff that's really the busy work, that's really wasting my time. And with that newfound time, I'm going to be fully present for the people that truly need me. You can always reach out to me. My contact information is on the website, dentallighthouse.com. Love you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. That wraps up another episode of the Dental Lighthouse podcast. You have a choice today. Choose to be a lighthouse. Lighthouses are powerful and steadfast. They are beacons of light for others to reference when life gets turbulent. Go out into the world today and become a lighthouse for someone. Give more than you get. True joy comes from serving others. Start today. I'm Jason Tenori, your host. Thank you for listening to the Dental Lighthouse podcast. For more information, podcast show notes, or links to anything that we have discussed today, please check out our website, thedentallighthouse.com. We would love to hear from you. If you would like to get on the show, please email us at podcast@thedentallighthouse.com.